Hello everyone. Hopefully you all can hear me just fine. Welcome to tonight's live stream. Tonight we're doing question time. So if you hopefully got a long list of questions that you want to ask about games development or Unreal Engine 4 or absolutely anything you wish and desire, tonight's the night we can ask it and we'll sit down and just go through it clinic style. You are my patients and I'm your doctor. Hello everyone. Hi Shame Angel. Hi Exalted. Hi Abidoody. Hi Kim. Hi everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. So yes, hopefully everyone's doing okay. Before we actually got started off, I noticed there was a first question already by E4Mon asking, can I make a tutorial on how to make an enemy execution system similar to Doom 2016's Glory Kill system? I could, but that's I don't know when I'd get to that. But essentially, it's quite a simple thing. It's just an animation that plays, and when the animation's finished, you just reward the player with a variety of ammo, health, and so forth. As long as you find an animation and create an animation for it, it's pretty straightforward. I'm not a great animator, so I'd have to find an animation that can help with that. But you can totally do it. It's not too difficult. It's literally just play an animation and lock the players, take away the player's input away whilst the animation plays. That's basically it. So Kim's now got a second follow-up question. What's the best way in behaviour tree to determine whether the enemy has lost sight? Is there a way of receiving a notification when this occurs? Yes. So when you have, for example, imagine this is your AI controller, for example, and you have your AI perception node here. You would have a event for this called, well, you've got two events. You can use the other one. But for example, if we use target perception updated and split the stimulus, you'll see this boolean at the bottom saying stimulus successfully sensed. And this returns true or false based on whether or not they sensed it correctly. So the important thing to note that this will trigger every single time that the AI will either lose or see the player. So it'll happen both times. So what we're looking at there is making sure that the boolean is being checked for being true or false. If it's true, that means it has been seen and sensed correctly. False obviously means you've lost sense or lost sight of the player. But basically, that's when that triggers. And once you've got that, then you can do all sorts of things like call up a blackboard key and set a key there. And that key then can be used on decorators to cancel or abort rather certain tasks. But yeah. Nice question mark. Teachers how to make the question mark in your level. It is literally just a model I made in Maya, and it is super simple. You just use a text thing. I might as well load up Maya. People are going to be asking modeling questions probably. I just imported a mesh. That's what it is. Nothing fancy. There it is. See, just wanted a bit of flavour in the scene. But yeah, nothing special. So in like Maya, you have this text function. You literally just click on that. It loads up. Still loading. You just open it up and there you go. And we can then tell its type here to be a question mark. And I simply just exported that out and imported it in. That's all I did. How do I get EQS to run if enemy health is low? So on your behavior tree, you'll need to do a either a service, or you can set a boolean on the blackboard for the players, for the characters' blueprints. But it'd be a boolean or that service that determines whether or not a task is either aborted or is activated. There's loads of ways of doing it, but essentially that's it. By the way, apologies if you can hear my cat screaming. For some reason, it keeps meowing. I don't know why he's meowing, but yeah. In your EQS tutorials, you gave an example of how to take cover. Is there a way of determining whether there are any cover points? I need my NPC to change state if there aren't any. Yeah, there probably is. I'm trying to think. Hang on, my cat is doing something stupid. What's he doing? Hang on. Oh, hang on. No, I don't know. Don't know what he's doing. What? I haven't enabled EQS on this. There probably is. You can probably determine how many points there are, and if there are 0, then obviously do something. Can't think of the top of my head without looking at it. I'll load up in a minute and have a look. Will I be participating in the Epic Mega Game Jam? No, I won't be, sadly. Reason being is that I simply don't have the time. I'm too busy either working in real life, working on a channel, or looking after wife and kids. That's basically my life 24/7. So I don't really get time to do game jams. Maybe in the future, once things settle down more and I've got more of a stride, I can carry on through that. Harry Doody 65. I've got an actor in a character blueprint and the camera in that actor moves up and down with the animation. Is there a way I can stop that from happening? I'm guessing your character then is using a camera that's attached to the mesh, correctly? Yeah. So what you could do well, first of all, you can either detach it so it's not parented to the mesh and they have something separate. That's totally doable. It depends on where you've parented. The only reason the camera would move with the mesh if the mesh is the parent of the mesh is the parent of the camera. Whereas in this one, you can see here the camera is the parent of the mesh. So make sure you get it set up this way. That's the easiest way of fixing that. Can I make the mesh spin? Yeah, you can make something spin. The easiest way to make something spin is turn it to a blueprint. And so I'm just going to add a mesh to this. Choose my question mark. And just going to rotate it. That's it. And to make it spin, there's a rotating movement component. Just do that. And then you can set how fast you want it to go. So here I can set 5 and click simulate. You can see it working. Yeah. My thing is important to note though is that my question mark, as you see here, is not centered on the root correctly. So I quickly made it and exported it out. Didn't actually fix its root. We'll probably pivot the transformation to the X, but I don't know how much. See, it's all guesswork. Sloppy stuff in my regard, but there you go. You get the gist of it. Yeah, and that's rotating movement component. Make stuff rotate. The simulate button just simulates what it's going to be like in the game. That's what that does. Is there a way of getting that info from the EQS? I'm sure there is. I have to have a look at it at the moment when it gets a bit quieter, maybe, or I'll get back to you more privately, Kim. To shoot an arrow, I use an arrow location on the character. Get the forward vector, multiply it by distance number, and then set that as a velocity. This is the best method to achieve this. Arrow is projectile component. Yeah, basically. That'll do just fine. Shamal, you can create a graphical interface where you can control the variables on an object with the arrow of the mouse. Yes, you can. You're asking how we can do that? I'll go for it in a moment. How much UE4C+ do I use on a daily basis? Barely any C++ on a daily basis anymore. So when I teach just blueprints at college, so it's mostly just blueprint stuff I'm doing now. Barely touch C++, to be fair now. But yeah, but daily it's always blueprints, just because that's what I'm teaching every day to my students. Devarshi, hello, keep up your great content, thank you. I set up a root motion for a character and it's not letting me set its speed. Any tips? Do you mean this? What do you mean? What speed? Do you mean the speed of its movement or the speed of the animation? Give me some more information. I can answer it better. Dungeon Master, didn't know about the rotating movement component. Learned something new. I had to use timeline in BPIP. Yeah, yeah. That's a long way about it. Rotating movement is the easiest way of doing it. Well done, Andre. Kim North. I was looking at Patrol tutorial. It works fine for the most part. However, when I get my enemy to chase the player and return, it never returns to the same spot. It just moves a few steps and then returns to the patrol state in its current position. Can you think of any reason why? If the where it's trying to return to is nearby, it will, because when you do the move to stuff. What if I can get it up here? I don't know whereabouts it's found. So on this like move to node, for example, you see this acceptable radius. If that number's too high or you're already too close to it, it will stop. Okay, so it'll move to that destination. And so in this case, it moves to a destination, and if it's 5 units away from it, it will stop and accept that it's reached that point. So that's why it will never actually hit its exact point every single time. It will always be slightly different. That may be it. It's not nearby. It's very far away. Not too sure, Kim. I'll have to have a look at that. Pretty sure it worked fine in my tutorial. I have to have a look. The speed of the movement. Okay, so with root motion, the speed of the movement is tied to the animation. So if you have an animation, I've got an animation loaded up, but if you have an animation, you can set its rate to whatever speed you like. So the speed of the motion is tied to the animation. That's what's happening there. So if you want it faster, make the animation run faster. That's the best way of doing it. What do I think of Quixel becoming free? I am excited by that. I can't wait to get into that deeper. I used Quixel many years ago, and I'm looking forward to getting back into it. It's cool. So yeah. In the behavior tree, we don't have a radius, do we? Let me check. Yeah, we do. I think we set up a radius on it. There, Kim. Devarshi, I'm setting it to a very high number, and it moves with a constant slow value speed. Also, it's great to see such a huge amount of content on a daily basis. Thank you. Right. So, I wonder if I've got a root emotion animation I can load up. Trying to think. I may have some swimming ones, but it's not root motion. What have I got that swimming? I might have a zombie walk. Hang on. Zombie. Like disgustingly messy. Folder here. currently in my class we're doing a zombies horde mode, like Call of Duty style, and we've been downloading some animations to use, but I don't know if it was this one. Oh, I don't know what this is. Oh no, it's something else. Oh, I've made a mess now. I have to try and look at it in a minute. Try and find root motion, but you should be able to just change its rate, animation rate, and it should be just fine. Um, yeah, Patreon has got loads more content coming. By the way, Devashi, the swimming series is actually all done. So I'm uploading a video of that every couple of days, along with the project files soon. Just got to prepare them and upload them. Same with the so you got the shopkeeper series, that's all done for Patreon. Swimming is all done for Patreon. Gonna start recording some new stuff this week, hopefully. That's to keep pumping out more stuff. I'm trying to get a little backlog going, so over Christmas period, I've got a library of stuff I can upload and give people during the Christmas period. Because it'd be quite busy for me. I won't get many evenings, obviously. Lazaro, I thank you for helping out. Do you know if the sequencer is able to play back a gameplay from an arbitrary camera, meaning any camera select during game? Able to play back a gameplay from an arbitrary camera, meaning any camera you select during game. Oh, I see what you mean. Don't think so. Don't think so. Have a look here. There may be a way of doing it, but I'm not familiar with it. But I don't think there is. Level sequences, as I know, are quite locked. I don't think so. You may have to do different. Wait, you're doing playback? Oh, I see what you mean. Recorded gameplay. So you want to play back like a death camera? I'm guessing. Is that what you mean, Lazaro? Like a death cam? So a death cam, it's not recorded gameplay. What that is that it's data sent through a server and kept in a buffer. And what it does is it resimulates that buffer. It's not recorded at all. It's not recording a video feed or anything like that. If you've got buffer data, then you can simply just plug that back into the game and resimulate it. But death cams are difficult to do unless you've got good knowledge of networking code. So it's tricky. So death cams aren't recorded gameplay. They are just buffer code. So it will get all the coordinate data, get all that stuff gets saved in like an array buffer, and it just replays it back. That's all that's doing. Kim, I'm not too sure why that would be the case. That sounds like something you've got set up weirdly with the collision components of each of those. It may have something to do with its default root component. That's hard. That's a hard one to answer without actually having hands on with the project or eyes on it. If you can share images and stuff, I'll try and have a look and see what happens there. Exalted, can you show how to make textures not look tiled and more randomized? So, so tiling, are you using your own textures for this, or are you using some other textures? Exalted. How do you make really good animations like the ones in Call of Duty, for example? You hire a good animator. That's about it. That's all I've got for that one. Sorry. Yeah. Shemel Angel, you can create a graphical interface where you control the variables and object with the cursor of the mouse. Yeah, I'll go through that in a second. So, right, Kim, I have several NPCs in my level. How do I check the state of a specific NPC in debug mode? Whatever one you aim at when you push the apostrophe key, that's the one that will show that code, that debug stuff for. So if you want to switch it to a different one, you push the apostrophe key again to hide it, change what you're looking at, and push it again. So it goes by what you're aiming at. Okay, so let's do a graphical interface into changing something. So, for example, let's just clean up all this nonsense that I've accidentally imported. Don't need that. Okay, dokie. Actor. UI actor. So this will be a thing that can be changed somewhat during the game in the widget. So let's give it a static mesh. And we'll give it just a box so you can see this. And we'll also give it some text to render. And this text I'm going to detach there and like so. And let's just give these a couple of variables. So here we've got text to show. And that'll be the text. And we're going to give it a transform. We'll go mesh transform. So you have the variables for the things you want to change in the UI. Make that transform and click compile. Then in the event graph or construction script, whatever you want to do, let's do an event graph. That's probably the neater way of doing it. Do a custom event here, and we'll set this to update text, for example. And we'll make the text to show get, drag your text render out, set text, and connect that up like so. Then do another custom event, and this one would be update mesh, and I'm going to drag the mesh out, set transform, and plug that in to new transform. Okay, that's all I'm doing now. So that's that part. Let's make the widget. Actor interface. Okay, so this actor interface, I'm just going to do something very basic for it. So let's put in a slider and whatnot. So I'm just going to put in let's do, oh, I'm panicking now. Border to there. Vertical box. And in here, we're going to have a horizontal box. And inside this horizontal box, we're going to do some text and a slider. Let's change the color of this border here so it doesn't look white. And let's make this dark grey like so. And then my horizontal box here, the text for this is going to say, let's do location with L, and then a slider we'll say fill, so it fills up the rest of the space. Let's customize that a little bit so we've got a bit more oomph to it. Like that, and we'll change the normal to 20 by, actually let's change that to 24 by 42. So location has got a slider. Okay, so do that, and we'll do location. It's not, sorry, you do X. Sorry, not location. X. Let's be the X coordinate of it. I'm going to do it for the X coordinate. Okay, so on this slider, we're going to bind its value. Not bind its value. So scroll down. You'll find on value changed. Click that, and we need to make a variable for this. We go call this one actor. This may be an actor, so we go actor. For the type, we're going to change, so look for that one, whatever they, what do we call it? UI actor. UI actor. There you go. So on the value change, I'll get the actor out. Get. And we're going to set transform. And we're looking for the that's it, the variable set mesh transform. I can then split that, and I can split that this location if I want, or just do this. And we're going to make vector. Just plug that into there. And you do this for all the different sliders you have. And once that's happened, you then tell this to update mesh. Compile. So with that, we need to then tie UI actor to this actor interface. So back on this, we need to make the actor here editable and exposed on spawn. And then on here, begin play. Create the widget. Actor interface. Actor is going to be self, and we need to add that to viewport, and we're going to tell the get player controller, we're going to tell its input mode to be UI, set input mode to UI only, and show mouse cursor to true. So basic stuff here, just creating a widget and draw it to the screen and changing the UI mode to that. So if I drag this out into the world, hit play. It helps if I actually put it in front of the camera so you can easily see it. So here's the thing, and if I change the X here, it disappeared. I need to tweak that. Need to change it to set relative location, not set world transform. Set relative transform. There you go. And that should I just need to tweak it. It's going very, very slowly because it's going 0 to 1. So I need to just change that to be a larger value. So on here, stop, slider. So value of the slider goes from 0 to 1. I don't know if we can change it on here, so we may have to change it on. You have to put like a minimum and maximum basically on it. So we just multiply this by float, and we multiply it by however much you want maximum you're going to change it by. So let's say 500. Compile that, and there you have able to change stuff with UI, things like that basically. Yeah. Sorry about that, it took me a while to get through that. When would you use a service in a behavior tree? Is it to run a block of code constantly to update a Blackboard key? It is like a tick, so it's something you want to constantly be checking or doing all the time. Nitro Thunder, yo, you do realise it does say you're streaming Apex Legends. I know, I can't tell it not to. It's really annoying. It's this restream nonsense. I tell it not to show a game, but it doesn't wipe out the previous one. It says I have to set a game. So, really annoying. I can go in and change things manually, but it's long. For example, if I go on Twitch now, can I change it midstream? I've never done it before. Let's have a look. Channel. Edit. Yeah, there we go. Cool. I managed to change it on Twitch, I think. But yeah, I have to do it manually. It's really annoying. It's just restream. Very pain in the ass. If anyone knows how to if to reset that, that'd be great. Hi Jamie, how you doing? No worries, Shamil. Sorry, it's quite bare bones, but I'll do it quickly. Hopefully you get the gist. But you just need to tie an actor to a widget, and then from there you can access various parts of it. If you want to do a text box here, for example, let's add a text box, and that could be quite fun. You want a text box, and we're going to plug that into the vertical box here, and rotate the fill. Why not? And on text changed, going to get actor out, set text, and it'll be text. So you can also access it directly from here if you wished. You don't need to set variables, I noticed, but I don't know. Seems neater. Well, not neater. Safer. And so now I should be able to just type in there. Oh, it's back to front, but you see it, it spawns there. But yeah, you get the gist. So yeah, that's how you do that. Who is your favorite game developer and why? Miyamoto, because he's a pioneer in so many ways. It takes a special kind of brain and creativity to come up with ideas like he does, and adds a flair to it where all these ideas are different and fun, and he injects fun back into games rather than this pomp and seriousness that a lot of other game developers do. Yeah, Miyamoto. I just like his outlook on life. It's nice. Jamie, Ryan, can you show me how I go about just adding a camera with basic movements in it? Can do. Do you mean what kind of a player camera or camera in the level? Or like a non-player camera. Let me see if I can find that zombie root motion that I downloaded long ago. Nope. Wait, this is it. Zombie walk. Let's import. Hang on, let's make a new folder for this. New folder. Import and so this is one I got off of Mixamo, but I had to edit its animation so it worked for root motion because Mixamo is not very good for Unreal. You have to edit it quite a lot sometimes. Import. Yeah. So here is a zombie with root motion attached to it. You know it's got root motion because you want to have a look at its bones. You see that little red line? That red line is its root motion. So it shows where the root is moving towards. I can see this animation needs work because it stops around there. Alright, let's change that. Set range 0 to 515. Yeah, that was saying right. Re-import. Oh, it's giving me loads more. I remember this before. I think it was like 127 or something like that. '97. Re-import. Yeah, okay. So once you've got that, to enable root motion, just tick the enable root motion box. And now the root will just move along with the thing the whole entire time. So notice there's no red line underneath it. That's because the root motion is the root's moving with the root of the bone. So you won't see a red line changing its difference. So to make it move faster, you get this sample rate. No, not sample rate. Where is it? Rate scale. There you go. 3. And then it moves faster. And that's how you make faster movement with root motion. That is. Yeah. There you go. Let's import his textures because he looks a bit sad about his textures. Okay, so I'll come back to you in a minute, Jamie. But Kim's asking, in a Die Hard Trilogy airport level with your shooter, the game prioritizes which enemy to shoot first somehow. Any idea how they do that? I guess they just hard code it. It's not random or anything like that. It's hard coded in. So on each level or sub level rather, it just has a sequence of which enemies will shoot when. But what you can also do, if it is going to be totally randomized, is when the enemy is about to shoot, you send a message out basically to the whole game saying that this enemy is about to shoot. mark me pink, and in mark and pink, so he's ready to shoot. So on the, for example, on the behavior task tree, you won't go immediately to shoot. You'd have the another task before then, saying like warn player or whatever you want to call it. Give this zombie some textures. A normal map. And this was a spec map, I think it was. Might be roughness, I'm not too sure. Yeah, spec map. So the zombie looks a little like this. Yeah. And then his walk animation. Turn it down to 1 again. You get that? Okay, so Jamie's question about creating a just simple character movement thing. I have got a video already about how to do that. If you look up character movement on my channel, you'll find it. And it is a first person one as well. I think. Might be even third person, I can't remember now. But essentially, well, you can see it for yourself in the blueprints for the first person character. If you just look at the blueprint for the first person character in this template, you can see kind of how to do it. Granted, they go a bit overboard with lots of like different rates and VR settings and things like that. So a lot of this you don't need. Like anything related to VR head mounted stuff, you don't need. So get forward vector could simply just go straight to there, for example, and it'll work just fine. So yeah, just look at this thing, and they give you basic movements for player movement there. Akidoka. Could you make a tutorial on how to make a modular character, like how to have a head, body, arms, hands, legs, feet separated to be assembled inside the game as a way to customize a custom character? It works just like my equipment system, basically. You just have to make all the pieces have the connecting edge be exactly the same. And then you can do whatever you like with it. I don't know if I've got a good example where I can quickly make this, because it's a lot of work to make, because it's a lot of modelling work. But so long as the connecting rim of edges is the same location as everywhere else, that's where you set the socket, and then it'd be no problem. It'll work just fine. But yeah, just take a look at my equipment system series. It works similar to how equipment works, how clothing, and how you do that sort of thing. The camera moves up and down with animation. The camera's in the actor. That is. I would need to see what you've got as a setup for your hierarchy and your component list. I think Abdudi. And what is the animation being played on? Is it played on the gun, the arms, the character? You have to tell me what you're working on. Or better yet, somehow send me a screenshot that I can look at. Kim North, remembering the Ocelot battle where he ricochets bullets, I was wondering how to achieve this. One is when a bullet hits a wall, you get the unit direction between the point of impact and the character. Is this correct? Yeah, basically, you just get the angle that is hitting the impact, and you just add 90 to it, or take away 90, whatever it is, and it'll ricochet at 90 degrees. That's essentially it. Okay. So Jamie, so how do I get the camera level and make it so when I go forward, that camera? So when you make maybe when you make a player, custom player that you want in your world, you need to make sure of two things. Well, two things, ways of doing it. On the class defaults, you want to set the auto possess player to player 0. Okay, you either do it here, or you can do it in the world settings here. Just select the player. Let's turn that on, and go to the details panel and find it in here. You can just search for possess, and you want to make sure it's set to possess player 0. That means the player controller will choose that one to be possessed, and that's what you do. Akidoki, I'll put it on the to-do list. I can't give an exact figure of when that will get done. There's a lot to get through at the start of the next year. Speaking of which, I might as well tell you guys what you can expect in 2020 in terms of what series. So there'll be loads of one-offs like normal, but there'll be various series to do. So let's go through some of that. So patrons at the moment have access to 2 new series that is out for them currently, and will be starting to come out for everyone else through Christmas. And that is the shopkeeper series, where we make a shopkeeper UI where you can buy and sell items in the player's inventory. I'll probably load up and show you in a minute. Actually, let's start loading up some of this stuff so I can show you. Where is it? There you go. So the shopkeeper stuff, and then also swimming. So we're going to do a swimming series as well, and these ones are out for patrons already, as well as a gamepad UMG series as well. So how to create a widget that is controllable by the gamepad and keyboard at the same time, so you can make proper console games. So that's coming out for patrons as well before the end of the year. In the new year, what you can expect is return to AI. So we're going to do some more AI stuff. Which series we do in order will depend on patrons. I'm going to give patrons the chance to vote on what series they get to see first in the priority list. But for example, in AI, we could plan to do a lot more with AI stuff. So things I want to do are zombie AI, pedestrian AI, flying AI, and pet AI. They're the ones I really want to try and do. Alongside that, other series I want to get hold of and get out for next year are an ability system series, where you can set spells in a player and make them do stuff, and skill trees and things like that. And also a JRPG battle system series. Going to be doing that. And if we have time by the end of the year next year, there'll also be starting work on a real-time strategy game series. On top of all of that, there's also going to be the second premium series. So my first premium series is making your first game in UE4. There's going to be a second premium series, which unimaginably is going to be called making your second game in UE4, where we expand on the basics that we learned in the first series and start making a different game with more advanced features like enemies and so forth. So yeah, that's cool stuff. So loads of content coming. More AI, plenty more AI stuff. The plan is to have an AI series, numerous of them going on throughout the year, because people like the AI ones quite a lot. So I'm going to do loads more of those, with all different behaviours. So I know people like it. You're going to get loads more of them. But I also want to do these other series as well. So they'll either be running concurrently at the same time, or they'll leapfrog each other throughout the year. As I said, patrons will get access to all these first. The shopkeeper one, they've had access to for about a month now, and it's done. So they've got a whole series that everyone else hasn't seen on YouTube yet. Alongside that, they've got 3 episodes of the gamepad UMG, and they will have all 5 swimming episodes. They've all been filmed or been recorded and so forth. So this is the shopkeeper, the finished shopkeeper series. So here I've got a player going to the shop, and shop. I can buy gunpowder and pumpkins and so forth. I can exit the shop, and I can access the players' inventory, and I can see what they've got and how much gold they've got left. Return back to the game. I can go back to the shopkeeper. I click on the sell button. It will show my players' inventory. I can sell some gunpowder and so forth, and return back to the game. That's the shopkeeper UI stuff we'll be doing. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, Jamie. So you every patron gets access to all these videos as soon as everyone else. I'll show you the swimming one. Yeah, so Kim, that is the nav mesh. It needs to make sure the players inside the nav mesh be able to be seen by the AI. If you're landing in the nav mesh still, but there's a gap and it can't find a way through it, you need to put in a what's it called? A nav. Hang on. I can't remember what it's called now. Oh my god, what's it called? Nav modify. Am I going thick? What's it called? Navlink. That's it. Navlink. You want to use one of these, and it tells it like basically a bridge across. Patreon is linked in all the video descriptions everywhere. Or on my channels. Just search my name in Patreon and you'll get it. One question: all the tutorials on Patreon, or some of them, are always exclusive to Patreon, or will we also get access to them later in time? All the the majority of the videos on Patreon are going to be released eventually. It's just they get them straight away. So as I said, they get videos. So far this week, they've had a new video. They've had 4 new videos, I think 5 new videos, whereas everyone else has had only 2. So I think in total, if you don't include the premium series, patrons have like 15 episodes available to them right now. If you include the premium series, so gold patrons have like about 50 episodes. On Patreon, you'll find links to all the videos in the post feed on the front page. You can scroll down or search for them. I've also categorized them with tags so you can easily find them. They're all on there. So here's a swimming one. Oh no, I haven't clicked on it yet. Hang on. This one. We'll wait for that to load up. So that's the swimming one. It's loading up now so you can see that. What are the specs of my PC? Oh, I'm not supposed to show you. There you go, you got those. And if I go to DXDiag, probably be best. I'll go command first, would help. Not command, run. And there you go. So I hope you can see all that. I can't be bothered to read all out, but yeah, it's running on a laptop. I use a laptop for all my stuff because, yeah, it's easier for me and my lifestyle at the moment. Bronze patrons get all videos as soon as the same time as everyone else on Patreon. The only exception is with the gold patrons; they get the premium series all in one whack. The graphics card in this, I can't remember what it is now. It's RTX 2060. That's it. It's a kick-ass laptop. It's no joke. Akidoka, another question about Patreon tutorial requests. How exactly does it work? For example, if I become a patron and ask for a specific type of tutorial, what would need to have this tutorial accepted? It depends really. So for example, swimming, for example, wasn't planned for this month, but a patron asked, could I do it? And I said yeah, because A, I knew it wouldn't take too long, and B, he was a long-time patron. He's donated quite a lot of money, so I felt like I owed him a good series. But most of the time, if it's something that I can feasibly think about doing quickly and do it once, I can just go crack on and do it once, and just do it. If it's something long form, I'll think about it for over the next month and just get going with it. It does vary based on specifically what their people are asking. Because sometimes all these tutorials I make, I pre-make them before I film them, so it takes some time. Yeah. So anyway, this is swimming. Sorry, swimming working. So I'm in the world here. Going to the water, and there you go, swimming. And if I stop, he'll go idle. So episode 1 of this one is out now for patrons, and probably by the end of next week they will have all 5 episodes, as well as the project files for gold patrons. Let me climb out. You continue to be running on foot. I hate Macs. I'll never want to own a Mac again. That's soon. What's the best way to make a semi-realistic map with mountains and etc.? Using height maps and mega scans from the newest Quixel announcement would help. That's about it, really. Yeah, actually, that's what you do. Yeah, Akidoki. So yeah, it's just normally the requirements are if it's something I can do doable quickly, then I'll knock it out of the park straight away. Also, just commitment and to the patron. Let's say this swimming one was done because the guy has donated quite a lot of money and has been basically a supporter from the start. So I'm happy to reward people like that for their support. Yeah. A good height map is made through usually a third party software. You can use World Machine or alternatives. There are free alternatives as well, but World Machine is the one that's used by loads of places. Yeah, or you can download one from Real Places. You can download height map data. Just Google it, height map data, and you can find them. For example, NASA do it from their website. They have a section on their website where they can download it. Google Earth has it as well. You can download height maps there. Not from every location they have it available, but most famous like big countries they do. But yeah, there's I say there's usually a good alternative or free alternative to most of the premium software out there, whether you're making worlds or trees or whatever. There are things you don't have to pay for. Do 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 do. So it's 1 o'clock now here in the UK in the morning. We'll probably go for another 20 to 30 minutes, maybe. We'll see. Next week's live stream will be returning to making our Zombies Ate My Neighbours game. So we're going back to that and adding more stuff to it. And we'll probably try and do more combat stuff and get them working. Yeah. Hi, Gaming Job. I was wondering if you have any experience in making custom sky spheres or skybox the way to go. Both one of the same, really. I prefer sky sphere. It seems a bit smoother. But they are made pretty much exactly the same way. The way you make them depends on the engine. So for Unreal, pardon me, just burped. For Unreal, look at the official documentation for making sky spheres, and it will tell you how to take the pictures and they'll lay them out in, say, like Photoshop or something. So they laid out and orientated in the correct way. So when they are folded onto something like a sky sphere like this, they will map perfectly. So check out the official documentation. That's the best support for that. Kim North, Ryan, the Luigi Mansion torch, is it simple? Yeah, it's just a light that you can aim like a gun. Nothing much to it really. It's just a spotlight. I think I've got a video on torchlight stuff. One of the first videos made for the channel, I think. So check out that. It's just that. And if you want it to activate something or make it something show, you just do a line cast or a capsule cast or sphere cast, whatever you want, from the torch. And if it hits something, that means the light's hitting it. Therefore, you can turn it on or make it visible. So yeah, totally can do that. Jamie, how come you haven't made your own game and published it for others to buy, like an indie dev? I have made a couple of games, and others did buy them. Has been a long time since I've made and released anything. I've almost finished making one. It's about to be out soon. Well, I've been saying it for ages. I just haven't had the time to finish it. Yeah, but eventually I'll get there and do more. But it mostly comes down to time now, especially now my dad. Time is a big resource that is lost. For example, I'm up at 1 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, and I'm up at this time every single day. I get about 4 hours sleep a day, if I'm lucky. Working in the same project using the same editor, it can be shared in the same local network, but they already told which they have plans they have work on the internet. I have seen they have suggested they are working on that. That would be a cool feature to get. I'll be very dubious about doing that, but we'll see how it turns out. Yeah, so the official documentation for Skyspheres is not too bad. Every engine draws them differently, so you have to look at the way that the engine. So if you're using Unity, you have to look up the way they handle the rendering of the texture. It folds it in a different way, so you need to make sure. Everyone's moaning or arguing between Mac versus PC. It's up in the 90s again. Ryan, what's your favourite game? I'm a big fan of the first Banjo-Kazooie, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and That's what other ones are my big favourites. Can't think now. Trying to think what ones I always go back to. Them two stick in my mind, probably because they're the ones that excited me the most when I was younger. When I started thinking up my own ideas for games. Yeah. Breath of the Wild. I do love Breath of the Wild. I thought it was excellent. I felt like the ones could have been better, or more identifiable, or more exciting. Like I didn't like the whole modular, very very obviously modular layout of their shrines. I thought that could have been done a bit nicer, with a bit more bespoke design to them. But yeah. Abdudi, if you just email it to me at ryanlady@hotmail.co.uk, I'll try and have a look at it. No, it doesn't. I can quickly show it actually. Got time. Let's quickly do this. Why does that look really small? I changed the resolution of this somehow. Maybe my eyeballs are going weird. So add a spotlight component. And we're going to add that to the gun. And I'm just going to change the radius of that. Angle. Ooh. Like so. Cool. And then on this, we'll have to do a tick for this, but we're going to do a tick. Break a spotlight out. And is active. So you want to check if the spotlight is active first of all, and that'll go into a boolean, into a branch, sorry. And then I'll do a sphere trace by channel. Start position is the spotlight's get location. And then from the spotlight's world location and rotation, get rotation. Then get the forward vector. Multiply that by however long you want it to be. So let's make it the length of our spotlight. So our spotlight is going 582. So we'll do it 580. Then we're going to add them two together. And that'll be our end point. The radius of this, again, we'll make it similar to the spotlight. So the radius of this is going to be, it's hard to say because it's working with angles. But let's just say, well, it's about the same height as the capsule. So what's the height of the capsule? Half height is 96, so let's say 200. Actually, let's knock it down a bit. Let's go 150. And we're going to change it to camera visibility, trace channel, sorry, and click compile. And let's just draw a debug type of for one frame. So this should now, active. Should be active. Should be doing the cast. Go debug type. Pretty sure that should be playing its. Oh, why is that not working? Right. It is active. Visible. Oh, maybe it doesn't have an activation thing on it. Okay, we'll go. We'll set it to is torch on, for example. Then plug that in. Make that true for now, so it always plays. So there's it checking when I'm doing stuff, and then if I wanted to hide certain things, you can simply say the best way of doing it is making another trace channel. Have a look. So a new trace channel, and we'll go hidden, and default is ignore, accept. So we make a custom channel. That means I can then, everything on here has different channels. So for example, on here now, on the custom presets, go custom, you can see hidden is now one of these options. Okay. And from that, I want to why can't it show there? Oh, there you go. Had to compile it first. So trace channel hidden. It only hit things that are hidden, and return their hits. And if it does, we're going to tell it to set visible, or set act as hidden game. Set it to false, because if they're not, so for example, let's make another actor and give it a static mesh, cube, like so, and we'll tell this mesh that it belongs to the channel hidden. So no. Oh, how do we do that? In play, we'll do set channel. Oh, channel. Bollocks. I'm going to set the trace channel, not get it. Set channel. No. How do we do that then? or on hidden anyway, you want it to overlap. I'm not too sure how you change its custom channel. Hang on, I'm gonna Google that. There must be a way of doing it, I'm just missing it. UE4 set custom trace channel. So you can do it in C++ just fine. It's just, can we not do it in okay, if not, we can do object type then. So go edit project settings, because that you can do easily in here. So object type, so object channel, change that, and then do hidden. I do an overlap. Oh, let's delete the trace channel then. Delete, yes. Object. Oh, torch. I have to call it torch. Overlap, accept. Okay. So if that, make this a torch object. So you change its object type to torch. Then on the actual torch sphere trace channel will be camera, but we want to check the object type of this. Get object. Get mesh. No, I have to cast it, don't I? This is why it'd be a lot easier if I could just set the channel in this. Cast to new blueprint. What's it? Which one I've called it? I'll just rename it. Save myself from trouble. Torch actor. Cast to torch actor. And then from there we can get the mesh and get object type. And we need to check if it's equal to torch. If it is, we go to a branch and we set it here. Set hidden game to true. No, false. Like that. Because by default the torch actor is going to be hidden in game. So you'd have this as like a parent object, and then you can have children objects which do the same thing. So I could put that there, for example, and you see it's invisible, but if I'm looking over here, it should not bloody work. God damn thing. Oh wait, it's because I'm hitting something else. Damn. Change it to visibility. It is hitting something else before it hits the thing. Let's just output what that might be hitting. This should be camera. So let's just print string the title of our actor. It's hitting the player, maybe. No, hitting the floor. Oh, okay, so maybe it's just too big. So let's just change the size of that. Radius here. Oh, it's because I made the radius 150. I don't want 150 there. I want it. Let's do 80. That's why. And there you go. So it appears, and make it. Oh, I can make it so it disappears, but you get a gist. You overlap it and you make it appear. And when you're not overlapping it, make it disappear. But yeah, kind of that's what that is. Okay. Oh. Edith Lido. Hi Ryan, how do I save record items that spawned into a level during gameplay? Spawned items don't seem to be retained in my save game variable between game restarts. So whenever you spawn an object in the game, you need to then add that object to your save game object. So when you do when you call the spawn actor from class, you get return value. You want to send this and save it to an array in your save object, or whatever you want to do with it. But you need to basically send this to the save game object, and this could be telling it what actors to look out for and record data for. Doesn't really matter too much. Ryan, the game mode, is that used for things like HUD and handling game score? If not, what other purpose does it have? So the game mode is used for stuff like that. The game mode is tied to the level. So the game mode is essentially, to me, is what determines the player in winning or losing that level. How do you determine whether the player has successfully completed the level or scored enough or got enough points? So it's anything related to that sort of logic, where something like the level blueprint is handling things like events and things that are happening inside the game, inside the level, sorry. So that handles like the actual gameplay events and cinematics and things like that, whereas the game mode is handling whether or not the win-lose state. That's the way I think about it. I think of it as like the win-lose state. But it's also the best place to put things like the HUD and score and things like that, because it is a constant thing on the screen. It's tied to each level differently, so you can change it to whatever you want based per level. Whereas the game instance, you can't do that. Level blueprint you can't access. It's only one way, whereas game mode is two-way. You can access it whenever you like. But yeah, that's when you use those. Okay, I'm going to leave it, I think, here for tonight. So thank you for everyone coming by. I purposely didn't get involved in the PC versus Mac thing. I have my opinions, obviously, but I'll leave you guys to fight it out. Thanks anyway for joining us for question time. We'll be doing more of these, obviously, in the future, so don't forget to join us each Saturday/Sunday for every single live stream, every single week. And when we next week, we are doing making our game live with the Zombies Ate My Neighbours. If you want to watch this live stream right now as an archive, you can head over to patreon.com, become Patreon, and watch this archive live. Plus with many other videos, including new series that aren't even out yet. So loads of good content over there for people to get their teeth into. Thank you for everyone for your questions. And thank you for your support, for watching this channel and subscribing to it, liking it, sharing it, and obviously all my support is on Patreon as well. So thank you so much. If I didn't get to answer your question tonight, I'm so sorry. It's been quite a busy one, lots of stuff going on in the chat. it's hard to keep up sometimes to the questions. But yes, new videos coming out each week. This week, Patreon's going to look out for more Gamepad UMG stuff and more swimming videos, whereas the normal YouTubers will get probably the start of the Shopkeeper series very, very soon. In a couple of weeks' time, the start of the premium series, Freebies, will be coming out. So, yeah, look forward to that. I'm going to go sleep now. I am drifting off already. So, have a good night, everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.